I've called Verona my home for over 20 years. Over those 2 decades, I've walked past this riverbank hundreds of times. In the bright heat of summer, when thousands of tourists fill the street, and in the quiet mist of winter, when the city falls silent. And every time I stand here looking across the RDG, the exact same thought crosses my mind. Most people see a beautiful backdrop for a photo. They see ancient arches, take a picture, and move on with their lives. But when you live alongside a landmark for 20 years, you start to hear the question the stones are asking.
Consciousness is rising to the throne. Rise, ancient giant, hear the sound. The wisdom is rising from the ground. Oracle of the lineage, speak the design. Reclaiming the kingdom, uncompromised divine. Lift your heads, the memory returns. In the dark of the soil, the fire burns.
Think about what this place actually represents. Over 2,000 years ago, Roma carved this seat directly into the hillside of Colle San Pietro. For centuries, this was the beating heart of cultural life in the city, a place of drama, music, gathering, and collective memory. But history is careless. When the empire collapsed, the theater wasn't just abandoned, it was hidden by the very nature that surrounds it. For hundreds of years, houses, churches, and dense layers of dirt were built directly on the top of these stone seats. Generations of people lived their lives entirely on top of this hill, completely unaware that an ancient masterpiece was buried just inches beneath their feet. It sat in absolute darkness until in the 1930s. That was when a Veronese merchant named Andrea Monga looked at the overgrown land and realized what was hidden underneath. Monga didn't wait for the government project or an international institution. He bought the land with his own savings. He spent years carefully dismantling the building on top, digging through tons of earth, and unearthing every single roll of stone seat. Andrea Monga understood something profound. If a society does not actively dig up and protect its story, the routine of daily life will build right over it until it is forgotten forever. Living here in Verona for 20 years, watching tourists walk over these excavated stones, I started connecting Andrea Monga's works to a crisis playing out right in front of us every day. We are surrounded by living human landmarks across the diaspora community in Europe, North America. There are elders, pioneers, and business builders who have navigated forest systems for 30 or 40 years. They built enterprises from scratch, survived impossible obstacles, and accumulated deep, unwritten intelligence, or what we call the success and survival logic. But because that wisdom remained locked in their head, it is sitting in the dark, just like the Teatro Romano that sat beneath the dirt for hundreds of years. There is an old African proverb that perfectly captures this. When an elder dies, a library burns to the ground. If we do not take the time to excavate, document, and codify our lived experiences, our entire intellectual heritage gets buried under the noise of daily life. Andrea Monga saved Verona's physical memory because he refused to let it stay buried. Over the last 14 years, through more than 1,000 deep conversations and interviews across the African diaspora, we have developed a system to help save the burning library, the story to asset framework. We don't just record memory for nostalgia. In A Classes Academy, we conduct a forensic audit of your unwritten survival logic, your business model, and your personal journey. We do this to turn your lived experiences into a structured, permanent asset that your family and community can inherit forever. Send me a DM on how to stop your personal library from burning to the ground.
Don't look to the distance, the answer is the near. The logic of the markets is built on what is here. If you're waiting for a savior, you'll be waiting for a cage. We are turning back the chapters to the very first